So if you're like me, you're exhausted. You're exhausted from performing strength. Society pressures us to live for their expectations. And we've just been really burnt out, right? So last week we talked about the hidden weight, the things we don't talk about. And this week we're going to talk about why we hide it anyway. Because society has trained us to perform strength that we really don't have, right? Strong people crack quietly because they're scared to disappoint somebody, or people are cracking because they're posting one thing, but really they're in another space. And those same people at the end of their lives who want us to perform and who talk about us badly later when you talk to them and on their deathbeds or when they find out they're going to die, they tell you things like they wish they would have lived life differently. So I'm here to tell you we need to live life differently. So let's go ahead and talk about um, why we carry that weight, right? So we have where identity versus expectations and authenticity versus performance and duty versus well-being, culture pressure versus personal peace, obligations that suffocate us, people pleasing just for survival in the workplace, at home, at school, buying cars just to please other people, buying clothes just because they have a name and not because they feel comfortable, the loneliness of being the strong one. Strength doesn't mean suffering silent. It doesn't mean carrying everything alone. And why are we staying in roles that are killing our spirits? All right. So I was just thinking about this and talking to some people. And it made me remember this story about a princess. But before we go there, let me just, I'm going to get to that. But I wanted to say clearly that everybody wants to be strong until strong becomes a prison. Let's talk about the myth of being strong all of the time. See, there was this story that I was watching. It was on Netflix. And then I started talking to other people about the story. Try to pull up my notes here. It was the story of the Princess Märtha, Louise of Norway, and Shaman Durek, their love story. So it was something that hit me after I had watched it. And then I was talking to some friends. And here's this Princess Märtha Louise, who fell in love with the sixth generation Black American shaman from New York. And people lost it. They told her she couldn't, she shouldn't, she must not, because princesses don't do that. I mean, first and foremost, let's talk about he's a shaman. He's a sixth generation shaman. Okay, let's talk about the obvious. He's American? Okay, let's get down good and ditty with it. All right. Or not too ditty, okay? Um, he's black, right? So a black sixth generation shaman who is very well known for what he does, but people were saying, is he scamming her? And why is he with her if he's gay? But he's not a person who was labeled by being something that society wants him to be. He just wanted to love any and everybody. He thought he would marry a man, but he fell in love with this beautiful woman. And clearly you can see their love. Now, I don't know what the future has to offer, but far be it from us to judge anybody. I've been in love multiple times. I swore it was the one. It wasn't. It didn't mean that I didn't really love them. And maybe it didn't mean that they didn't really love me. Maybe it was just the pressures of society and thinking what we needed to be, who we needed to be with. But the reality was, it just wasn't meant to be. I hope their love story becomes forever after. And however, let me just get this. It told her what she couldn't do, but still, she is a princess. Nobody can take that away from her. She is next in line to be the queen. And some Norwegian people were saying that was the issue. He wants to be the king. So they're concerned, right? But it still doesn't take away that she's still a princess. She's still capable. Still, she is who she is, and still she just refused to live inside a box that wasn't hers. I remember listening to the story, and she said, everybody wants to be a princess, but it's not exactly what people think that it is. And that's not verbatim. They left her whole country, well, his, when he married her. So they left their country to be free, to live their truth. They moved to America. Then boom, they're living real life. I love that. I love that she said, this is what my responsibility is, being a princess. And she tried to live that. And people made racial slurs and people made ugly comments. And she could not love her husband without them wanting to push them away. And unfortunately, this happened in her first marriage to a man. And so it's really sad when people get in the middle of people's relationships and just don't let them navigate that all by themselves. Relationships are hard and they're difficult. And who are we to tear up somebody else's blessing, or whatever? If it's not a good thing, we whisper something in someone's ear, being their friend, and then we sit back out of love and we're just there for them. But for a whole country, I mean, we're in a society where we're driving people to suicide and saying, or unalived, and saying things like, well, they weren't strong enough, they weren't real. Life's hard. If we told the truth, we're all burnt out. We've all had thoughts. We've all been struggling. So let's get into the meat of this, right? So here's what society does to us, right? They pressure you either way. I know, as a single mom, I stayed home with my kids for a short time, and people were like, "Ooh, you just want welfare," or "Why are you home? You're not with your husband?" There were all kind of judgments. And then when I went back to work, there were the same judgments. You're not at home with your kids? Like, who's going to be there for them? It's just really terrible. You can't win for losing, and you're going to lose for losing, right? So, who cares about everyone else? How about we start caring about ourselves? We're worthy of our own self love, self compassion, and we're worthy of saying, yeah, but I don't care. I just love me. And so society criticizes us for every choice we make, all expects us to perform the way they want us to perform, punishes us when we need a break, tells us that healing is laziness, tell us that hustling is burnout, tell us that authenticity is weird, and tell us um, people people pleasing is noble. It's the right thing to do. Well, I'm here to demystify all of that. Strength is not carrying everything by yourself. Strength is choosing life that you can breathe in. And strength is you being you because you matter to you. At the end of the day, I can tell you, I walk this life. I've walked this life. I'm still dealing with some of the residuals of not knowing who I was, making sure that everybody else was taken care of. This haunted me in relationships with my family, my children, relationships at work. It was just this oh, let me get things right for you. Let me make sure you're feeling good. Let me work this overtime without getting on the clock because you keep complaining about your budget. So let me make sure that I'm doing this so that I can please you. I remember sending a message to a supervisor saying, "Hey, I'm doing whatever I can, and I'm studying and learning a little bit more, so I can be the best employee that I can be to help the mission of the job." And he said, "Don't worry about the mission of the job. Worry about yourself." I mean, it was totally nasty. And in some irony way, even though he meant it just to be nasty, because he did tell me, I told him, someone gives me like kudos, I like those. If you would just tell me, if you would just give me credit for the things that I do right. Remember, I'm people pleasing. So can you just at least give me credit for the things that I do right? And he said, I said, other people do. They don't know the quality of your work. Okay. So, and the mask we wear. I'm still dealing with my mask. This is my smile. This is my mask. It hurt. It still hurts. I'm still learning to process it. I am a therapist and I am still processing. Remember, you always hear me say the motivator needs motivating, the therapist needs therapy, right? Like, people say things all the time to hurt us, and we think that it's noble, modest, humble to just say, "Well, it's okay. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to work through it." But it's not okay. And it did a number on me. If it did a number on me and I thought I knew better, there are people that I'm meeting every single day that I'm learning some of their burnouts, their what took them out, them trying to people please, them trying to fill roles that aren't theirs to fill, right? So I want to ask you this. What are you strong for? And is it killing you quietly? Is the very thing that you think is your strength the very thing that's taking you out? We hear people dying of heart attacks. We hear people dying of stress overload, like hospitalized. Their bodies are breaking down. We're hearing all kinds of things, strokes, all kinds of things. And there are many reasons to have different things happen to our bodies. But I remember stress being one of those number one, two killers. Besides a heart attack, stress, like stress, like you're stressing me out, like my mental capacity is burnt out. It's killing me. It's killing you. So ponder on that question. What are you strong for? And is it an identity that is killing you? There's nothing wrong with accomplishing things and then saying, I accomplished that. Next, let me move on. I worked really hard to be in some spaces that I am in and getting to the place to go, this may not be for me, because that's what I've done all of my life. And maybe that's not how it's supposed to show up, because now it's showing up differently. We have to recognize those things and know when and how to have enough power to say enough is enough. I have to live life differently. So I just want you to remember, empower you by loving you, by caring about you, by not living through the lens of other people. The strange thing about that is when other people view you and want you to live in those boxes, they either are wanting to live through you because they couldn't do it themselves, demanding you to live up to an expectation that probably has nothing to do with your demeanor, your character. I remember someone who wanted to be a pilot because they were the third generation of pilots, but it wasn't realistic for them. And they wanted it so bad just to please their parents. I'm a parent. I would love for my kids to be in business with me and follow my footsteps on lots of things. But honestly, I'm more in love with them being them. One of my kids said, I really love how you let us just create and be whoever we wanted to be. But it bothered us too. Like, I wanted you to be more hands on. I wanted you to just be more like, no, more structured. And I thought, I love my kids dearly. And I will never be a perfect mom like nobody else will. And I made the choices that were best for me. And I made choices based on what I didn't want or what I wanted from my own parents. And that's just how we learn. And we'll all do things to go, I could have did that different. But at the end of the day, did I love my kids with all my heart and wish them the best in everything they did? And do I find that each and every last one of them are champions in their own right? And that each and every one of them are successful in their own hearts? And that I am proud of each and every last one of them, flaws and all? Yeah, I wouldn't change that. I wouldn't change that at all. I wouldn't change that for what I grew up with. And I'm sure that somebody is thinking, I wouldn't change that for what she grew up with, meaning me. We're all going to do things based on our experiences, and we're going to try our best. And that's good. I really like some of the things my mother said that I look back and go, man, I wish I would have listened to what she said. But I also like the fact that I had an opportunity to either listen or not. She didn't overpower me. She didn't cover me. She didn't blame me. She didn't find me like unworthy. No, don't find my friends unworthy. I don't find my exes unworthy. I don't find we are all worthy of just being ourselves. We are worthy because we were born. We are worthy because we exist. We've made flaws, bad ones, good ones, but we are worthy. So, let me see my notes here. I just want you to, let's see. Yeah, that's it. All right, that's all my notes say. What I really want you to do is to take care of yourself. Take some time to relax. Take some time to learn your five senses, the smells you like to smell, the tastes you like to taste, the things you like to see, things you like to dream of, the things you like to hear, the things you like to touch, the quality of the things you like to touch. What's the texture of it? I really want you to learn you for who you are. I don't want you to think about the drink that you like because somebody else likes the drink. I don't want you to think about the food you don't like because somebody else doesn't like the food. I just want you to be you. Relax, enjoy yourself, and find time to take care of you. And that would be my kid, one of them. You can come down because I need them to be themselves. You can come down. Your shirt off. That's my kid. You can come down. And that's the cat. And that's the other kid. All right. Take care of you. Thank you for joining Divergent Resilient. And I will see you next week.